I'm ready. All right, so today we're going to read a story called Sir Luke and Aspergian Tale, written by J.M. Kiss, illustrated by Rebecca Gullen Holiday. Ready?
Yes. Come on.
Okay. This is dedicated to my son Luke, who has the superpower of Asperger's syndrome. May he always be himself, unapologetically, unwavering, unfailing, and unhindered. So it's dedicated to who?
Luke.
Luke. You know who Luke is. Okay, and there he is. Sir Luke lives in a wonderful castle filled with wonderful things. Each morning he makes his bed, and takes his bath, and sings. I love the bed where it is, my scrambled eggs and cheese, a glass of cookie milk, and cartoons, if you please. Look at his to-do list. Always the same. Each morning was the same, the afternoon and evening too. Sir Luke liked to know what was next. A change just could not do. His castle was arranged in the same manner from day one. His clothes were all similar, whether for work or for fun. Did Luke like change? Look at all his clothes. Exactly the same. But one day he awoke to find all things out of sort, his castle in chaos and his order all abort. To begin, his bed was shifted a foot to the right. Instead of his robe being all blue, it was mostly white. The cheesy eggs that once covered his plate were replaced by a bowl of mush that made his belly ache. His milk was missing and his glass not even there. How could his servants do this? Do they not even care? He swallowed his breakfast. Must be oatmeal, he thought. He choked and he gagged and it wasn't even hot. Do you like oatmeal?
No.
It feels good. Off to the garden to pick some dandelions, but they were all gone, so he started crying. He then returned to the safety of his home. I will watch some television at least, he said with a groan. Oh no, he cried out, a crime has been made. The TV is missing. Enough with this charade. Could you imagine if your TV was gone?
Mom.
Be very sad. Sir Luke got on his horse and rode into town, searching for answers while his face wearing a frown. The village was empty and the streets quiet as can be. His afternoon ride was going to be different without the villagers all aglee. He started to think that his world had come to an end, when in a moment he noticed an acquaintance with a friend. He rode up to catch them, but they scurried along. Into a giant tent they darted, and he pondered, what could be wrong? He dismounted his horse and gathered his white royal robe. Approaching the tent, ruckus and laughter reached his lobes. Inside it was bright and he smelled a familiar scent. This was a grand gathering. That's where the villagers went. Can somebody read that?
Saint Luke.
Sir, close.
Sir Luke's grand ball.
Very good. It's a giant party. Look at all the people. And look at those giant presents. Could you imagine what could possibly be in those presents? Surprise rang through the air, and Luke all but jumped to the sky. He saw many faces and hands holding gifts some 10 feet high. The villagers cried out, there's our master who we love most of all. We celebrate Sir Luke with a grand royal ball. On the table a fountain of cookie milk flowed forth straight to he. Mountains of eggs covered in cheese was all he could see. Before him a new television, bigger than the one before, with a card that read, to our master whom we adore.
What's the big television?
It was in the big box. I know it's not in there. How big do you think it is?
The size of the room.
That's a big TV. Well, he lives in a big castle, so I'm guessing he has room for it. I love it. I love it. Dandelions filled the tent, and their scent filled the air. That's where they all went, thought Luke with a stare. But what about my royal blue robe? Where did it go? He cried out. Oh, the new one was a gift from us all, the villagers said with a shout. Here is your old one if you must wear the blue. But we thought the white would be perfect, and it is brand new. Luke thought for a moment about all that occurred. The changes and newness seemed so absurd. It was hard, no, impossible to like something so odd and so new, but it fit so nicely and complemented his hue. At that moment, He cheered and the crowd all roared, for that was the day white clothes is the fashion sort. They danced and they played and they dirtied their white attire. They laughed and they cheered until the day had to expire. Playing in the mud. The next morning arose and all was the same, but Sir Luke was a little different because of yesterday's game. He sat at his table with his fork in his hand, enjoying his cheesy eggs and milk should be just grand. But all of a sudden a feeling came upon him quick, and he thought for a moment that he must be getting sick. A hunger for something mushy in a bowl surprised him to say the least. But that morning at the table on oatmeal he wanted to feast. Maybe change was a good thing and newness will bring a smile. So instead of his morning cartoons, he walked in the garden for a mile. He returned to the castle with a mission to achieve, to find his servants and request oatmeal for tomorrow, please. And most important picture of all. Can you guess who it is?
Mm-hmm.
Who is it?
Luke.
That's Luke. That's the real Luke.